Well, when I started to volunteer at the bond store, when we came back to Maryborough in '97, and that's when I realised what history we've got here and started to, be interested in history, and then it really gets you in. I'm hooked on history. In the early days, it was the focus for all social things, so you can imagine in those days women in long dresses, and you can imagine the balls and all that sort of thing. Those sort of things went on, so you can only imagine it because you didn't experience it. When the curtain tower was put up, that was 35, the same year as the clock. And before that, the stage protruded out into the hall, and the artist got changed in a little room called the Croft under the stage, which was pretty cramped. Now the stage is recessed back into it, and there's dressing rooms on each side, and the back wall of the stage opens out. All that's the sort of thing you tell them when you take them in there. Mr. Ambrose White gave £10,000 to the council. The interesting thing was when he decided to give it, his friend was the mayor at the time, and he walked into his office and said, you need a new town hall, more or less virtually, I'll give you £10,000 to build it. And then the bloke, he was sort of gobsmacked, and the conversation is in River of Dreams that they had, because he wanted to do something for the town, so he'd already given money for the swimming pool. But 1907, they laid the foundation stone in May, so it would have been started, I think, sort of early in 1907. They laid the foundation stone on the 25th of May, I think. And it's under one of the big pillars out the front, but we don't know which one. We think it's the one on the end. When they had the opening was done with a full Masonic ceremony with the grain and the salt and the oil and all the other things they use. He lit a fire downstairs. As you walk in on the left-hand side, he lit a fire in that corner, and upstairs the whole room, the whole council chambers went. But all those photos of the mayors that were around on the ledge, I think it was just sheer luck. Before the fire, for some reason, they were all taken out of the room for cleaning or whatever, because they never got those photos again. And the clock, the big clock that Ben Mason gave, it was lost. So, things like that, the whole room went. It all had to be rebuilt, and then Mr. Mason's son and his family gave the present one that's there. I can remember the guns, that there was 2 guns out the front, and the toilets, the stinky toilets that were down in the bank. Ladies were here and men's were here, and you'd walk down underneath. It was all white tiles, and it used to stink. And Granny used to always have to take us kids to the toilet there. I'm not sure when they covered those in, but they were down off the footpath on the front. In those days, everything was in the town hall. Meetings, balls, dances, concerts, anything that was social was in the town hall. Hodgkinson's big band used to play for balls and things, though they reckon. I didn't go, my sister used to go to things there when she worked in town, but used to have lots of balls and all that sort of thing. A lot of entertainment came in on the ships, stay for 2 or 3 nights, play to packed houses, 3 shillings top seat in the town hall. But oh no, people in those days, they liked good entertainment, and people would come and they'd all go, and then they'd have these, sometimes there was religious things come, and the people would go and listen to them, fire and brimstone sort of things, some of those type of people, but there was all sorts of things, went on there.